speaking with you after Cassidy Rowe left the team. You were pretty silent during that time. Is there anything else you would like to say about that to just kind of put closure to that?
I wasn't silent. It was just more of, if you want to get deeper, I want to thank all of the young women for their contributions who are not with our team anymore. A lot of them came in, and this is college basketball right now, or college athletics in general. It's different. A lot of movement, and it's different for the players, it's different for the coaches, and it's different for the fans. A lot of people don't understand, what goes into decisions, how things are. There's a lot of movement, and I, as a head coach, when I make decisions, every decision I make, 33% of the people are going to be happy. 33% of the people are going to be mad. 33% of the people are going to be indifferent. But I have to make decisions all across the board that I feel like are going to be best for Kentucky women's basketball. So in that situation, obviously Cass is not here right now, and it's unfair for me to even talk about it because she and I were the ones who talked in that situation, and she's not here right now. So everyone that was here, Clara Silva, Tana Becker, ST, all of them, I thank them for their contributions. They're all in different places. I wish them nothing but the best in what they're going to do. But my responsibility is to make sure that we continue to grow, as a basketball program. There's no hard feelings on our end with anyone because I learned that there's going to be a lot of movement. And when, a player comes in, they say, can you guarantee me more? And this is not her, this is just players in general. Can you guarantee me more opportunities? And I say, I can't guarantee you them. All right. And then they make a decision to go somewhere else. This day and age, you got to give them a big hug. You got to wish them well. And because there's growth, there's movement on both sides. And so I wasn't being silent. One of the things that I've learned too is that you try to defend yourself in the media or in social media, you can't. And you can't. And for me to go out and say, I'm not going to say anything bad about, one of these young people that I really appreciate their contributions because that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So last year was the best year I've ever had coaching. Right? The best year. You can throw the Final Four year in there, you can throw championship years in there, and it was because of the young people that I got to work with. It was drama-free. All right. They weren't even late for a meeting. All right. Now I watched them grow when they had adversity staring them right in the face when Dom and Jordan go down, and people are going to say, well, what are you going to be able to do? They didn't hesitate. They just stepped up. And so when we went through the whole year, I probably yelled as little as I've ever yelled in my career, to the point where some of my former players came back and they were like, who are you? and it was because I enjoyed this whole group, every one of them. But then when you get to certain points, sometimes there are decisions that are made. And I've gotten to the point in my career that, I have to understand that I'm going to make some tough decisions, all right? And not everyone's going to like them. And so then some people will, they'll try to control the narrative, and some people will even say stuff like they know me. They don't know me. They don't know the situation. They don't know everything, and if I were a bad person or if it was a bad situation, these two right here, as you mentioned, could have gone to play for the Celtics if they wanted to. The Lakers would have taken them. All right, but they're here because we have such a tremendous culture. All right, tremendous culture, but it's not perfect. Everything's not perfect, but I can honestly say I thank each and every one of them for their contributions. If any one of them who they're not here called me tomorrow and said, hey, can you do this for me? I wouldn't hesitate. And I would do it for them. It's just, this is life, and my responsibility is to make sure that Kentucky women's basketball is positioning themselves to be as good as they can possibly be. And that's what we did. So I wasn't silent. It's just that I just didn't have the opportunity, and I wasn't running. I don't have social media anymore, so don't try to look at me on social media. And my piece is great, and I absolutely love being with these kids.